5 minutes to the hour of 7 o'clock in Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning. And this morning, we're going to have a conversation with Mr. Donald, also known, of course, as Jackie Hinkson, about the mural that has taken the Caribbean region and the world by storm. Good morning, Mr. Hinkson.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. And I said, oh, look, we're matching. It's good to see you this morning. Welcome to the Now Morning Show. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling fine. We're matching, but only with color and so on, not with age.
Oh, not yet, but soon, of course, as all of us, you know, we will get there. So your murals have really been a point of conversation and gave people something to, you know, just cling to in this global pandemic. Now, you've been recognized by UNESCO, of course, by Trinidad and Tobago, and in some ways, it's as though you are giving back to us. But just give us a little history about Jackie Hinkson and what pushed you to start doing murals in the 1980s.
Well, I can't give you a history of my life because we'll be here all day. What pushed me? Well, I was, over a number of years, I was working on this kind of scale without thinking what I would do with them. And then last year, with COVID, or in 2020, or whenever it started, the idea just came to me that why not put it out in the street and get an opportunity to see it, how it really looks like. And that's how the idea came about. And last year the response was so enthusiastic. And since the COVID was still persistent, we decided, well, we'll do it again this year. So here we are.
So here we are now. I know that one of the things that was mentioned about your pieces is the fact that you have it in the streets, as you mentioned earlier, also to, you know, give that connection to Carnival and the festival itself, for the fact that, you know, this is where we revel. So in some ways, you are creating your own space or your own taste of Carnival right in your own neighborhood, yes, which is fantastic. So this year, your production, your exhibition is called A Game of Words. Can you share with us a bit of the concept behind A Game of Words?
Well, from the earliest mural that I have out in the street, which I did some 10, 12 years ago, it begins with a kind of a celebratory look at history of Carnival. And slowly it starts to change into more social commentary, social observation. The two other murals, which I did since 2020, increasingly the emphasis on social, even political observation intensified. And part of that observation has to do with words. Words, because at some point a couple of years ago, I became increasingly conscious that I was being bombarded with words. From the time I got up in the morning, words. Words in the press, words on the radio, words in Parliament, words here, words there, words there. Until I reached the point where I said, you know, this seems to be the reality. Words, not so much action. So increasingly, words play a part in the murals, in placards, or written words and so on. And I thought, well, it's something of a game. And, you know, utilizing the name of the famous TV show, Game of Thrones, I said, you know, Game of Words. And that was it, as simple as that.
As you said, it's simple, but it really speaks volumes to us as a society. And looking at the art that we just saw on the screen there as well, it's absolutely moving. And definitely narrates what we have been going through, I think, not just now and not just in the pandemic, but since the beginning of the birth of our nation. A Game of Words is so key. Now, I know you have another mural. It's called Band of the Year. And again, if I'm not mistaken, this is something that has evolved over time. Could you share a little bit of that with us as well?
Well, because of my closeness to Carnival, since childhood, like most people, a lot of people in Trinidad, I like to use Carnival imagery. And because I seem to be depicting my impression about how the society is functioning, I thought, well, why not make it look as though we're describing here a carnival band? And as the band evolves, as events evolve, I try to capture them. And it's like a parade of a band going through the year. And 2020 was that.
It really was, definitely. Mr. Hinkson, how long does it take you to do a mural like this? What's the process like?
Yeah, that's a good question. It takes years. It takes years. The earliest one I have, as I say, that I did some 10, 12 years ago, was done over a period of 3 years. Of course, I wouldn't be working on it every day, constantly. I would go back and forth, in and out, from it. So it takes years. In the case of the concept of these murals, where I am looking at events as they unfold on a daily basis, then, I'm in a position to say, this is the dominating event this week. Let me try and include it visually in the mural. So it grew incrementally like that. But it adds up to years.
That's amazing. So when we come and we look at your murals, we're going to be able to basically see a timeline of things that have happened and tell a fantastic story. Now, I know also from the release that we received from you, one of the things that was mentioned is, of course, that this is open to the public, and you're actually willing to meet with the public as well, which is great to just share a little bit behind your exhibition. What time are you going to be available to meet with us, and how can we get more information from you?
Well, I made it public that between 4 and 6:30 every day, I will be out there in the street, willing to discuss, listen, talk with people. But I find that during the day, I sometimes go out. If I see somebody or a group outside, I will go out, even if it's not between 4 and 6. So committed to 4 to 6:30, and generally available at other times as well. And, anyone who has a specific desire to meet me can phone me at 390-9961. If they want to talk to me or even interview me or whatever.
Okay, fantastic. Well, expect your phone to ring. Thank you so much for sharing your contact information with us. Mr. Hinkson, before we wrap, just a quick question for you. How do you feel about the evolution of art in Trinidad and Tobago over the years? What's your view on it?
You're talking about my kind of painting and things like that?
Yes, or in general?
Yeah, well, that's a big question. It has become, when I was a young, aspiring artist in my teenage years, the art community was a very small one. But since then, especially with successive oil booms and so on, and the public doing a lot of traveling, and fields opening up in advertisements and all that kind, of area, it has grown so much that a much greater number of people are committing themselves to visual expression. So from that point of view, it has been excellent. The increase in interest and the purchasing and the acquiring of art and so on. The quality of critiquing in the media, however, has not been so good. I don't like saying it, but that's where we have reached.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us on the show this morning, Mr. Hinkson, and thank you for your honesty. And looking forward to seeing your exhibition, The Game of Words, right, I believe, at Fisher Avenue, if I'm not mistaken.
Fisher Avenue in St. Anne's, yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining us on the Now Morning Show. It's been a blessing, and looking forward to seeing your art continue to grow. Viewers of Now Morning Show in Trinidad and Tobago and the world, stay tuned. We have more coming up for you after the break.